What's up, everybody? Trinity here. Welcome back to the Second Street Marvel. Today we are going to be talking about Hawkeye episodes 1 and 2. I've got a guest that's going to be with us today. We will start doing these on Wednesdays here at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, or that's 11 if you're out on the East Coast, or check your local listings if you are in other parts of the world. Thank you all so much for being here today. Again, please make sure that you like this video. Tell your friends to come hang out. We're going to be going into a spoiler discussion of episodes 1 and 2. Please let us know all of your thoughts down in the comments below on the episodes. And if you don't want spoilers or anything, make sure that you're probably not going to want to be here because we're going into full spoilers right off the bat. But let me go ahead and bring on my guest for the day. We've got my man Chillmonger in the building. How are you doing?
Speaking of other parts of the world, representing from the north, it's Chillmonger.
Yes. I see we've got a few great people in here already. We've got my man Reefer Man Reviews. Obviously, we've got Chillmonger in the chats as well as Johnny on the spot. How are you doing? King James 74, my man, how are you doing? I hope you're all doing very good today. As you can see, we are here hanging out in the multiverse. Here. So right off the bat, I guess let's give some. What are your initial thoughts on episodes 1 and 2 here of Hawkeye, Chill?
A positive thought. It's a pretty cool story. Nothing amazing. I actually feel like it started off the best with the Avengers 2012, replaying what was Kate going through back then. A little bit surprised that Kate feels like the main character here, even though in the casting Jeremy Renner was listed first. But I mean, let's face it, it is her. In the artwork, it's her kind of silhouette featured just ahead. She's on top of a building, just ahead of Clint, who's on top of his building. I feel like, okay, this is Kate's series. Doesn't mean that Jeremy Renner, I mean Clint Barton. It doesn't mean that he's sidelined, but I'm sure those videos are coming, but not from me, not from Chillmonger. But I like it. I'm not mad that Kate is going to be, usurping Clint because it's Clint.
Yeah, and I think that was something that they kind of led on in the trailers, and something we've all kind of been guessing anyways. Is there's going to be a passing of the mantles here with the whole, I guess, the Hawkeye, even though she's not Hawkeye, right?
Was she IHawk?
I'm
proud of myself for that one. That was pretty funny.
I did think I thought the episodes were pretty good, both episodes. And I guess it was kind of obvious that they were going to be trying to pass on the torch, but I'm not really for sure if Clint Barton is done. You know, I know one thing that you speculated even about, I believe it was you speculated about before, even after seeing the trailers, is he made that promise that he'll be home for Christmas. And
He'll be home
thinking
for
that
Christmas.
that's not going to happen?
No. He'll be home for
You think?
Christmas. There's no way that they kill the character off.
And that's kind of what I'm hoping they don't do that either. Hopefully they just kind of this is a way to bring in Kate Bishop, and hopefully it does carry on, because I was even saying in a stream the other day, Hawkeye really has a lot to contribute still. He did so much in the comic books, and we haven't seen him do really anything in the MCU. So I'm hoping this series, obviously focusing a little more on him, but it does seem like there's
He
a lot of Kate Bishop there at the begin
he
in the
he
first couple
he gave
episodes.
Wanda that pep talk though, He
Right.
did something.
Yeah, and certainly, and I think that's one of the things too, is because that kind of pep talk that he gave her, and even what we're gonna see him probably do here in this series is for a while he led the West Coast Avengers. I believe he actually started it, and he even led the Thunderbolts, which just some different interesting and funny things here to go with that, but he's got a lot as far as to offer still that we really haven't seen him do. And yeah, and it's just little things like that, like we've seen him do in Age of Ultron. So hopefully the series, while introducing this new character, doesn't completely get rid of Jeremy Renner for us.
I feel like that's coming. We're slowly getting rid of him. Even the stories of, what's his name? Giuseppe? Jacques Giuseppe? Was that the name of the faker who was pretending like he's not good at fencing? The guy dating the mom. That character is a Hawkeye character. That's who trained Hawkeye. That's his
Yes.
backstory. And they repurposed him to give it to Kate. I feel like the time for Hawkeye Clint Barton is over. The man is in his 50s. The actor is pretty old right now. If we were gonna get it, we would have gotten it in the first 13 years of Marvel.
Well, I mean that's true and easy to say, but then I mean we could also talk about Black Widow if if we want to when it comes to that. I mean, it did take them that long to introduce to finally give us her solo movie, which obviously here they're giving us a series. And I mean, honestly, I guess he's been in the MCU. I mean, just a little bit less, not as long as she would have been, because he was in the first Thor movie, which she was in Iron Man 2, which would have come out just a little bit before Thor did. So yeah, I don't know.
She's had more appearances too, because she was in Winter Soldier. He wasn't.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really for sure. I mean, I think beyond this, he's probably going to be limited to cameos, if anything. And I think those cameos could still come in the form of doing like stuff with, if they did do like a West Coast Avengers and things like that as well. But yeah, it is interesting because you brought up Swordsman, who we actually got introduced to in the very first episode, which was Jacques Duquesne. And
That's his name, yeah.
yeah, and it's funny because I just read the Avengers. I believe he was in Avengers issue number 19. Issue number 19, where he made at least his premiere with the Avengers, and that's where we kind of got
When
the
you say
backstory of
19,
Hawkeye.
you mean like the original volume of Avengers, or like this iteration of Avengers?
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Wait,
Like
answer the question. Was
like
it the original
yeah, the OG Avengers.
from like the 60s? Okay.
Yeah, and yeah, it was issue number 19. Issue number 19 here. And the
Yeah.
interesting thing in here is the fact that we see he's trying to get onto the Avengers because yeah, for the same thing we see so many people do. He wants to be on the Avengers because he wants secrets to, powerful things. He wants to be in power and those kinds of stuff. Always somebody trying to usurp some power, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we see him in there, which is interesting. Yeah, there you go. the
AKA Swordsman.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I'm dude. Look, are we totally nerding out here? Is that what we're?
Are
Is that what we're doing?
yeah, they're gonna pull it up. Are they gonna call him Swordsman?
Yeah, we've got
There
the
it
swordsman
is.
issue right there. This is where they kind of they go back into his history, and it's crazy too because we've seen something in the first episode that I think kind of plays into that as well, because in the Avengers, I believe it was it might have been in that same issue, number 19, where we find out that Swordsman actually ends up working for the Mandarin.
Mm.
Because the Mandarin wants to get back at Tony Stark. And it's very interesting because in that first episode where we see she's at that auction, what's the first thing that we see that that they have auctioning off is big giant like dragon head. So I thought that was very interesting. Of course, the wording that they use at that auction as well. We're gonna jump back through time. And I was like, oh man, here we go. And this is all after after Avengers Endgame and everything has happened. So
It's amazing because I watched the same episode you did, and none of those hit the way that it hit you. It's amazing how different perspectives can read into situations differently. But yeah, that was right there, the dragon skull. That everything that you just said, I'm like, oh, there's gonna be so many theory videos coming out of this now. What else would? Because look, what came next on auction? Okay, the skull, right? Then next is the sword, and then next was the suit. Is that correct? Like they were in order of things that are related to superheroes.
I believe
I feel
so.
like that was the superhero
Yeah.
section of the auction part.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. But yeah. Again, just very interesting things, like clues they kind of sprinkled along the way, because they said they introduced a swordsman here. Then we got all these kind of artifacts coming in. I don't know. I mean, altogether, I do think that the episodes were pretty good. And going into this series, I was actually thinking, I was wondering, because we see her mom in so much red and everything. I was like, she's not gonna end up being Red Hood, is she? I don't know,
Like,
man.
no. That's not happening.
But so I got a while back, in episode 1, we seen they went to Rogers the musical.
Release the musical cut. We need that. Create the musical cut.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting seeing that. But for one, the whole little thing was just funny. The whole, like, they had the little song that they were singing about,
Yep.
I can do this all day.
Oh, I loved it. And then we're gonna let Hulk smash. Oh, that was lovely. And Hawkeye's like, hey, Ant-Man wasn't supposed to be there, but the original Avengers wasn't Ant-Man part of that team. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
probably a nod to that.
Well, and see, and I was gonna say that's exactly what I was getting ready to bring up, because we see him kind of flashing back there, with Natasha and everything. You see him kind of getting into it, but I thought that was very interesting that he says, "Oh, you know who wasn't there? Was that guy?" But I mean, that makes me have to ask then, because, like, something that I remember people were theorizing or talking about, even from the trailers. We see there was a black guy in a lab coat, and everybody's like, "Well, who's that guy?" And as we were going through, I was trying to figure it out too, and I was thinking maybe he's just, because they're recreating the Battle of New York here. I was thinking maybe he's just supposed to be there as, like, an ode to first responders. Because
Oh,
other than that, I wasn't for sure who he was supposed to be representing. And I bring that up because the Ant-Man thing too, because he says Ant-Man wasn't there, but he was there. He
the
was
time
there
heist version was
in the
there.
time heist version.
Uh-huh.
Which I
Uh-huh.
think is very funny, because then it makes me wonder if that is the musical and ode to what the Battle of New York that happened there in 2012, and is it a version that was made after, obviously afterward here, after the blip and everything? Did somebody see Ant-Man in there and they were actually seen, and they actually did affect the timeline in that sort of way there?
I think the time heist is not public knowledge, but if Ant-Man was seen in the, I feel like you're digging too into it. No, I thought you were gonna go with it when you said the black guy's a doctor and you mentioned Ant-Man. I thought you were gonna reference to how he looks like he's Filipino, and it's just a diversity hire thing that even in musicals, guys, people
Right.
play the characters who are not the same color. That's all that was.
Yeah, and I think I was thinking that same thing too, where because, like, you got just like different people doing the whole musical thing and all that stuff. I think they were definitely doing that as well. But, like, because, like, before, one of the things I was thinking about was, like, is that supposed to be Bill Foster, Lawrence Fishburne's character? Because he did used to
Oh,
work for Shield, and he used to work with Hank Pym. They did the Goliath thing, so I don't know. I thought it was very interesting. I thought it was very interesting. Like I said, like you were saying, they did so many kind of nods and put a whole lot of little stuff in here, just kind of throughout, and obviously paying homage to stuff that we've seen in the comic books as well. We're obviously Kate Bishop, then we've seen Pizza Dog in there. Some very cool stuff.
hey, Tristan is in the live chat sacrificing it all just to say hi. It clearly says spoilers that she hasn't watched the episode yet.
Uh oh. Uh oh. No.
But
Well, thank you for being here,
there's a dog
Tristan.
in it. Pizza dog. Yeah, thank you for coming, Nerdette's Newsstand. And everyone else here. Nikki, Perp,
Yes.
everyone whose name I
Yes.
remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
We got Mike. Mike.
Who else has joined the chat? Yeah. I see we got Perp. Johnny on the spot came in. Let's see. Yeah, Nikki in the building. Oh, Obi-Wan the homie, aka Beskar Batman, my man. Tristan, RF Gaming Channel. Thank you all so much for being here today, guys. Please let me know what your thoughts are on the episode down in the chats, and we'll go ahead and go through a little bit of these. But I mean, I guess I don't know. I guess we're not really following any kind of traditional format. We're just kind of spitballing it, talking about this episode.
I want to try doing it in order though, because that first glimpse of seeing young Kate running down the steps, I want to give this young actress her credit because the way she went up to the window, was kind of scared, came back. Where was the mom the whole time? I don't know. For dramatic effect, I guess she had to be gone, and then finally was Kate. Where have you been? Come here. But seeing her hero from an alternate perspective, that the 2012 movie, but
Yeah.
still accurate. It's sort of like in Clone Wars where you would see them replay scenes from Revenge of the Sith, except in an animated version, but they would never change it. They wouldn't like lie to you and be like, that actually happened this way. It's kind of the same thing. And I loved watching a different angle of Hawkeye falling, you know, making his rope arrow able for him to swing into the side of the other building. It was cool. I understand why she would love Hawkeye at that moment. I understand why at the funeral she goes, "Give me a bow and arrow." This is a very clean explanation for who she
Yeah.
is. Not comic book accurate, but better.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say, and that's certainly something I definitely did enjoy, kind of about that introduction too. Like you were saying, and it's funny because I was watching some of our past, some of our past videos as well. We were talking about WandaVision and everything, and we got into the post blip era when we got into, what was that episode? Was it episode 3 or was that episode 4? Where we seen that everybody was returning from the blip and everything. And that was one of the things we were talking about there too, is just kind of seeing different angles. And certainly we see that
Hmm.
here with, again, the return to the battle of 2012 and seeing it from a different angle as well. And yeah, I certainly did think that was cool how we're seeing all this. And you know what, it's like I feel like Jason Biggs right now in the movie Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back. You know, where he's like he's all like, it comes down to that, it comes back to that fucking pie. And here it's like it comes down to the battle of 2012. Everything comes back down to
Hmm.
that battle.
Yep. You get free dinners because of the Battle of 2012 still.
Right? Exactly. They're still mentioning shawarma in Rogers, the in Rogers
That
the
was great.
musical.
I love how that's public knowledge.
Yes, I know, which is very interesting because like just all of the different things regarding that, like thinking about public knowledge and then seeing like some of these artifacts that are out there that they're selling at this auction. So it's like um, very interesting stuff. Speaking of which, we're talking about that auction, right? The
Okay.
tracksuit mafia shows up, and obviously we
Bro.
seen at the end of episode 2 exactly who they're working for, but what they're after in episode 1, the watch.
The watch. Tony's watch?
Yeah, and that's exactly what I thought. I'm like, what are they after the watch for? And then honestly, I was kind of sitting there waiting. I was like, I wish they would do a Christopher Walken thing here, like they have him like this watch. Anyway, from Pulp Fiction, but
Hmm.
um, the watch. I was sitting there. I was like, what would they need the watch for? Why would they need that watch? The watch that obviously we seen him use, and I'm not sure if it was the same watch. I didn't go back and look at footage. I'm willing to bet that it is. But what are they after that particular watch for? I thought that was very interesting too with the watch. And then especially by the time we learn who it is in episode 2, who they're kind of working for there. So yeah, I don't know. What do you make of that?
I don't know, but I feel like we will get an answer to this one. The watch question? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and and obviously, I guess that's kind of what these first couple episodes are doing, anyways. Setting kind of up everything, all the questions that we should be asking. I mean, because how many episodes are there going to be? I can't remember if they said if
6.
it was. I thought it was 6. I'm like, man, so we got 2 episodes here on this first week. We're
Hmm.
through the first act.
I guess so, yeah, you could call it that.
I mean, we're essentially
But
one third of the way. So obviously, we know who our villain. We've obviously been introduced to our villains here, and kind of the setup for everything getting ready to happen. So I know Yelena Belova is said to be in the series, and
no sign of her.
no sign of her yet. Very interesting. Considering and IMDb is not like super accurate or anything, but it says that she's supposed to be in like 4 episodes. So that's like she's gonna be in the next 4 episodes, the rest of the season.
Okay. I liked her.
Yeah. But let's get in here into the chats and see what everybody's saying here really quick. Didn't watch, but I'm here to say I forgot. This was even coming out, right? Perp Minded is here. He says, I see the series being about both of them, which I have no problem with. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It helps being a human being character. If it was something like, oh, you have to get bit by a spider to have this power, I got to believe now that 2 people got bit by a spider. But because it's archery, I'll take it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Johnny on the spot says, happy to have some Second Street Marvel with my coffee. And again, we are here with my man Chillmonger. There's a link for his channel down in the description where you can go and subscribe to my man Chillmonger. Go check him out if you guys aren't already. Reefer Man Reviews says, for me, collectively, 8 out of 10. Not bad. Episode was 7 to 10. Episode was probably about 8.5. out of 10 for me. But total overall, I'd say 8 out of 10 as a premiere. I think that's fair. Yeah, I would say eight is fair. I can't say I really expected more, and I was really liking what was going on here, especially because they are ground level characters. There's no real need for a whole lot of special effects here, and so you're dealing with that. I think the one thing was, I think in the first episode where Kate stole the suit and she was sitting there fighting the bad guys, some of the action was a little bit, you could, like, it was choreographed and it looked stiff, looked a little stiff.
Okay, there's a whole lot of stuff with guns that I hated. I hated when bro pointed at Kate and she ducked, and I'm like, oh, and you just narrowly missed, huh? I hate things like that. I hate when characters use guns on people that they hate and they're trying to kill them, but later, like, I'll skip to the end when she drops from the ceiling and right in front of Hawkeye. It's like, bro, you guys, bro. It's like, bro,
Right.
you were shooting at her like a scene ago the other night, and now she's right in front of you, and we're not shooting at her. Do you want her dead or do you want her alive? Make up your choice.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Um
Oh, sorry. One thing about the scene, the auction, it was like the wine cooler type thing. Very interesting. It had to be shot on set, and unlike the Mandalorian, which you might have been the one to call it out, but during the Ahsoka episode, you can clearly tell. You could notice that they were using that the volume, excuse me.
yeah.
And I didn't. I was thinking of you as I was watching this episode because clearly this was on set.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, like, so much of it is kind of in small settings anyway, that it really, because I was looking for that kinds of stuff too, just thinking about how a lot of that is. But and they used a lot of small spaces, so I think a lot of what we've seen so far is easily done in that way. Yeah, certainly. um let's see, Natasha's death, I was messing with Clint. That was sad. Says Perp. Yeah, and yeah, I thought that was very interesting, and even his daughter had said something too, and she noticed, and that's, like, it's crazy too when it comes to kids. I mean, I don't think you have any kids, at least that we know of. Do you, Chill?
No comment. I don't like giving personal information.
the
Oh, you know whose family was casted here? It was the daughter of the Russos. Was it Arya Russo?
Yeah,
That same actress as Endgame.
yeah, and I thought she does a pretty good job, because she does the good thing, like, like I have a daughter that's, probably around this girl's age in the show, maybe a little bit younger, but
Hmm.
the way that she reacts and everything to Clint, and everything, the way she talks to him, and she's there, she's kind of the silent leader. He's like, yeah, you're in charge, like that really
Hmm.
reminded me of my daughter. So I thought they did a lot of that really well. I thought they did a lot of that really well, from the family aspect and everything like that, like making them feel close, I guess. Yeah, definitely. But yeah, seeing Clint, yeah, that was kind of sad. And then you can see, obviously, too, like, his kids learning the sign language and everything, because he can't hear, which they kind of didn't even really give a specific explanation for. They just did a lot of flashbacks and, like, oh, he's all this stuff has happened to him, so, like, yeah, sure, he's probably he's probably hard of hearing right now.
That kind of snuck up on us though, because that was never referenced in another movie,
Right.
and they kind of retroactively are saying all of that caused this. So yes, it makes sense. No, I'm not complaining. I retract that complaint. It's just like it's hearing problems, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, especially because I think the biggest thing would be, like, when they were there in Endgame, when all the bombs, when they were there in, I guess, of the Avengers compound, and it got bombed by Thanos. Um,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
to me, I would think, but at that point, that would really affect all of them. Then, you know what I mean? I mean, maybe not Hulk, because it was Hulk, and maybe Scott got lucky because he was in his little Ant-Man suit. I mean, we could come up with excuses for a whole bunch of stuff, but I was thinking about that even back in.
He's the only human being. Yeah.
Yeah, again, exactly. I mean, him and Scott Lang were essentially there, because everybody else kind of had suits, and even Scott had a suit. But I think even like aside from that, I remember even when Endgame came out, thinking about that, and even to now, like thinking about because I was watching that the other day is like when those bombs hit there at the Avengers Tower. Like, dude, that's like crazy. I mean, like that they even lived through that is absolutely crazy. They got bombed on without even knowing it. You know, what I mean, Scott Lang's just standing there, just like, hey, and then just boom, like that. I mean, that's just nuts. That's just nuts. I mean, you're
It
literally in the
is.
middle of a bombing.
Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, I guess that would affect him, but I mean, and obviously Natasha wasn't there. But yeah, I mean, aside from him and Lang, I mean, because even Rhodey was there, but he had the suit on as well. So yeah, I don't know, man.
It checks
Yeah,
out for me, man. He's the only human being with exposed ears. There it is.
yeah. Reefer Man says, "Are we gonna get a retired Avengers team? Their mansion would be like an old folks' home." Sounds like they'd be at staying at with Doctor Strange.
Mm.
Perp says, "I like the fact that the show is reintroducing the criminal world, so hopefully we see Kingpin and others down the line in other shows and movies." Absolutely, absolutely. And I think that's kind of where we're going to. I mean, with obviously at the end of episode 2, with the introduction of Echo there. So yeah.
And she has a history with Kingpin. Can you explain that for me before I forget how it
That
goes? She was the protege?
that I honestly don't know. If I'm not mistaken, her was it her father used to work for Kingpin and he
Oh,
eventually killed her father and he kind of raised her or something. I'm not exactly for sure. I'm not exactly for sure because
but there is a link.
yeah, certainly a link there for sure. Um, Clint Barton was a jackass in the original Avengers book. Uh, Super stoked just to score Young Avengers number 12 on VV this morning. Oh dang! Yeah, hoping for a secret rare. Dang, we passed that time. Dang, man, I missed it. Yeah, I missed the drop. Was that today? Was that today? Hey, isn't that on Tuesday? That's on Thursday, isn't it? Tuesdays and Thursdays? I don't know. I guess maybe not. Maybe they must have changed it. They must have changed it on us. Um, let's see. Yeah, excellent James Silent Bob reference. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. What else is everybody saying in the live chat? So what do you have anything else like on episode 1 that we should talk about? I mean, I feel like there's just so much there that kind of happened in episode 1 and 2, and the fact that they dropped 2 episodes on us right off the bat was pretty crazy. With it was as much
Yeah,
as in them.
I can see the reason why they did two. It's because the first one was slow, so I understand. But it was there was one mistake that Clint mentioned about his family. This was it might have been episode 2, sorry, but he mentioned to Kate, I got to get back to my kids. Now, this is character progression because they in 2015 during the Ultron movie, look, they live in seclusion. It's a complete undercover operation. The existence of these kids and his woman
Right.
is a private. But for him to just recklessly say it out loud, it was either a fault of the movie. No, it wasn't. It wasn't because he was out going to dinner and making public appearances with his kids. That wasn't the case before.
Right.
I think he really did put down his Hawkeye being a superhero, and that's why he's doing things like Christmas in New York.
Right. Yeah, that very well could be, and obviously why they've got security around them as well. So yeah, absolutely. And I think a lot of that, I mean, probably, I mean, just from the fallout of Endgame, Infinity War and Endgame, I would guess for the most part. And obviously, I mean, we even see in the post blip world, they even know who Peter Parker is. So I mean, it kind of seems like maybe at this point, like all cards are down on the table, and except for with the exception of some things, like where we see here with Ronan, where they got the suit and they're trying to track down who Ronan was. So
And they think it's Kate Bishop because her dumbass had her name on the buzzer.
yeah, yeah, very interesting. Something else I thought was interesting there too was and I'm not sure if that's anything from the comics, was who her aunt was. It was in Florida for the winter.
Hmm.
Um Her name was
That's normal.
Moira
Canadians do that all the time.
Brandon. I'm
Yeah,
not
yeah,
sure if
yeah.
this is an actual character from the comics. I didn't look it up or anything, but I thought it was funny too because they have her. She has a movie poster there in her apartment that was from one of the movies she did about some character from like dark space or something that it talks about, and it has a whole like creature feature, kind of space creature feature on the wall there. And I was like, man, I wonder if there's anything to that. I wonder if there's anything to that. I don't know, but I thought that was
You mean the
interesting.
Moira part of it?
Hmm?
The Moira, because her name was McTaggart. Moira Brandon Moira McTaggart was the name on the thing.
No, it was.
You think Moira means
Well,
Moira?
her name was Moira Brandon. So I mean, I can't even remember like
Yeah.
in that Hickman stuff. They said what her original her name was, her
Oh,
unmarried
yeah,
name,
yeah.
and I don't think it was that. But I just thought I just thought it was kind of interesting too. I mean, just kind of everything going on there with that, because considering that she is an actress and does like the whole thing, and then seeing that just the poster there made me wonder, like, is there if there's some sort of connections there to anything? But
I'll keep my eye on that.
yeah.
And I didn't even remember her name was Moira. So if a Moira character shows
Well,
up,
and that's what
we'll be
stood out
ready.
to me was because that name, and then because I thought the same thing, like Moira McTaggart. I'm like, it's not the same, but is that character anywhere else? Does that character name have anything else to do with anything? I don't
No.
know.
But when that house burned on fire,
Mhm.
and that Molotov cocktail was thrown in, and Clint caught it and threw it back, even though I did see that in the trailer, it hit differently watching it during the show. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's aiming her arrow. See, I told you I'm really good at this stuff. The banter between the two of them was very fitting. It was exactly how I would expect Hawkeye Clint Barton to treat her. Like, this is how you close a wound, and he was a role model
Yeah.
and a proper one.
Yeah, and I didn't think they did. I thought they did, again. I thought it was. I didn't really feel, and I'm glad about this. Is there wasn't any of that the MCU kind of cheesy joke, any kind of stuff. I
No,
didn't really feel any of that in these two episodes. A little bit of lightheartedness, but very. I don't know. I thought they did a good job with everything all together throughout both of these episodes, like making it interesting and really making me want to go watch, wait for episode 3, because I thought they did handle. I think just everything about these first two episodes was done really well, very very good, and I'm glad too,
there was
because the trailers for this going into this were actually getting me pretty hyped up. So I'm happy that they were actually, that it's actually been a pretty good series. Not, and I don't think it gives us too much to really speculate on so far, as like the world building and everything going on here. Kind of like like WandaVision did when it first came out and some of that stuff, but I think it just done a really good job at getting me engaged and wanting to see the next episode for sure throughout both of these episodes.
mm-hmm. It has. Uh the jokes from Marvel were in the second episode. The fireman had to sue that dude, had to fight Hawkeye for real. And Hawkeye's like, I gotta really do this fine. And it's slow motion, and Hawkeye's slaying all of his people, the people who are fake attacking him. That was an MCU joke for sure.
Yeah. Uh,
And there was a scene at the dinner table also when the stepdad was talking to Kate, and they talked about the description of a word, and it's like it reminded me of like the MC humor, like all words are made up, that Thor said. You remember that scene?
yes, yes. But refresh me again, because I'm saying like, where she's sitting there, the scene you were just talking about.
Yeah, I'm looking at my notes because I want to see if I wrote it
Oh.
down or not, but I did not write it down. I just have a memory of it when they talked about the word, some sort of word, and I'm sorry for not being
Oh,
recalling it
yeah, you're
100%.
talking about when she was sitting down with her mother and the swordsman, basically. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
where she was sitting there and they were kind of challenging each other before they started fencing.
That scene was very MCU.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, it definitely was, but I don't feel that it had like any of that like that cheesiness to it. You know, like I thought it was again just very well handled compared. I mean, honestly, like I was just saying, I was hyped up before the show going into it. I think they did a really great show, and I think this could end up being could so far based off these two episodes end up being my favorite out of all of these series so far.
Yeah, of course. Potentially, sure, it could be because the two main characters have a good relationship with each other, so they haven't blown it yet. They have an opportunity to with 4 episodes, but knowing Yelena is coming, who's all business from the end credit scene of the Black Widow film, she's here because she thinks Clint is responsible for Natasha's death. They stayed on Natasha's death because he was thinking about her. I know you lost your best friend, Dad. Natasha's death is going to be very crucial, probably in the next episode. Maybe when Maya Lopez or Echo, the woman we saw at the end of episode 2, maybe when she comes on the attack, that's when Yelena can swoop in to save them, but then also take issue with them. We'll see. It,
Yeah, definitely. Again, these first two episodes did set up a whole lot of stuff that I think was very good, and I do think that you're right too with them dropping both episodes at once, kind of like they did with the WandaVision thing, but for a different reason. I think for a very different reason, but they like these two episodes really did a good job at setting up all of this stuff and bringing enough intrigue to really make me want to watch uh, episode three. Episode three, for sure, for sure. And I think they got the pretty some good actors in here as well doing all this stuff because again I think Haley Steinfeld did just a great job in the series. Obviously, we know Jeremy Renner's just he's a pretty good actor for what he does. Anyway, I watched SWAT not too long ago. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that one with him and Colin Farrell
no.
and Samuel L. Jackson. Oh man, dang. Do we need to bring
Saw Hurt
Bullseye and
Locker.
like? Hmm?
I saw Hurt Locker.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen that one. I haven't seen
Or
that.
even.
But Jeremy
No,
Renner is a
chat.
good
Who's more
actor.
wrong? Me for not seeing it or him for not seeing the Hurt Locker? I never heard of no SWAT.
You never heard that thing? No, that's on you. That's a Samuel L. Jackson movie, man.
Watch. Yeah, it didn't win an Oscar though.
Did it? Oh, Hurt Locker.
I think
Yeah,
it did.
yeah, 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 yeah. I think you're right. It did. But yeah, he's a good actor, and I
Mm.
think everybody in here brought it too. Because even Vera I don't know how to say her name, but that played Kate Bishop's mother. Um,
She's good. She was
yeah,
good.
I thought she.
She actually aged. In the flashback, she looked real like 10 years younger than she did in the present.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Well, and that you know what that kind of made me think of something else too, as I was wondering. So apparently, then they didn't get blipped.
Oh, you're right. That yeah,
Because
yeah,
I was thinking about this difference of like the 5 years, and I was like, she obviously mustn't have got blipped and just stayed aging the whole time throughout all that. Oh man, we've got a super chat from my man Lucas Texvenger. $5 says, "What up, Maniacs? Just had to do my usual check in from work. Hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving." My man Lucas Texvenger. If you guys are out, make sure you stop by at Chili's, especially if you're down in well, I'm not sure where exactly the area where Lucas is at, but we know he's somewhere in Texas. Stop in Chili's, pick some stuff up, tell Lucas what's up for us, because I can't.
Why do I not have a partnership with Chili's yet?
Right?
They need to get on the bandwagon.
But thank you so much for the very generous super chat there, Lucas Texvenger. Gratefully, very grateful for that. And I hope you have a Thanksgiving as well. As I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving. And it's hard to believe, man, that we got Thanksgiving coming upon us already. I'm getting ready to hit my 3-year anniversary at the end of this month. Jeez.
You're so American. Thanksgiving was a month ago, guys.
Is that it was a month ago? Up in
Yeah, second Monday of October. That's how it is every year. I don't know what you're talking about with this Thursday stuff, where you guys take like the whole week off because, well, I'm off Thursday, so I might as well not come to work on Friday. And if I'm not missing 2 weeks, I'm just gonna miss the whole week. That's how you guys are.
That's how they roll, man. I'm self-employed, man. I like when it's funny, even when I used to work in retail and all that stuff, like I had no problem working holidays. I was good. I'm good to go. Sure, they pay us extra. I'm like, all right, whatever.
You know, right? A holiday is just what you make it. Like if you want to put value in this day. Anyways, Hawkeye, it's a holiday, guys. It's a Christmas episode. He's from Carlton, Texas. So hello, Lucas Texvenger from Carlton, Texas.
Oh, okay. Nice. Okay. Carrollton. All right. Yeah. I've
Carrollton.
been there. I've been there. I went to an event there one time. Nice. Hell yeah.
Mm.
Let's see.
SWAT wins. I was wrong about my the Hurt Locker. No, there's more votes for SWAT. Mike says both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see we've got a couple new people in here. We got Ashley from the Widow stepped into the chat. We've also got Mads, Mama Bear, and Tony Robinson. Thank you all so much for being here. Mike Porter says, I hope the other obscure characters in Hawkeye, like Eagle Ear, Turkey Lips, Chicken Leg, and more.
Hey, when they mentioned Ronin, it was his first sighting in years. What the hell does that mean? There was a 5-year gap, and we saw Natasha find Ronin in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
When does this show take place in? Kate is 22 years old. We don't think she was blipped. How much past the year 2023 is this film?
Right.
Series.
Yeah, because I started thinking about that stuff when I was thinking the same thing about her age, whether she got blipped or not, and then thinking about the news reports, because obviously that would have been the Ronin thing was in that 5-year gap between where we've seen Endgame, and then obviously Endgame happened, and then after that, so. It's really hard to say because you're right. I mean, they did say it's been years, and so exactly when was the Ronin thing, and when does this happen? I
don't know. Hey, I can tell you what, the news reporter who mentioned that, same guy from Far From Home who revealed, we're going to go to this controversial website by J. Jonah Jameson. It was the same guy. So way to go, continuity.
I guess I was going to say, I guess all I can really say is anything is possible in a multiverse. Anything is possible in a multiverse.
Oh, because they used J.K. Simmons to cast J. Jonah Jameson?
Well, that and the time gap. It's been years since we've seen the Ronin. Like, whew, man. That's a pretty big call out there. Because I wasn't even thinking about that, but then it was like, you bring that up. I'm like, yeah. When does this take place then? Years since we've seen the Ronin. Dang, that's kind of a big one. That's a video right there. That's a video.
That is.
That's definitely a video.
We could say that Ronin is good at disguising himself. So Natasha saw him in Japan, but anyone who does see him is going to die. So maybe we haven't seen him in years because he hasn't been seen, because he was killing people left, right, and center.
Yeah. Yeah.
All for the suit.
Yeah. that damn suit and that LARPing, man. That LARPing.
Did you know what live action role play was?
Yeah.
I needed that explained to me.
Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna tell you how I know. But regardless, me and my family, we go to Renaissance Fair every year when they used to have it.
All right.
But it's different. Like the live action role playing, I just know about that just from I don't know, I get just other movies and everything like that too, is because I remember God, what was it, the movie, was it Grown Ups, where they were doing that as well? Not Grown Ups, but Role Models. I think they did some of that as well. Yeah, but the LARPing thing, I know these dorks get together and they do all that stuff. I'd totally do it. Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. But I was gonna say I knew what it was, and that's and I remember seeing that in the trailers and stuff. But I thought it was kind of funny that I didn't think the guy was gonna give him the suit, because I thought the guy was gonna be like, oh, it's the rules, you got to go by the rules, because he agreed to play by the rules and everything. I was like, oh man, the guy challenged him and he said he would fall and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't know, man. I was like, I feel like he's being tricked here. But I thought it was
honor dictates that you must slay me.
I thought exactly. I thought that was funny too, because the guy was they're there doing the LARPing thing and all that stuff, and the guy essentially seemed kind of like an NPC character from a game. You know, like a video game that you see, just almost like Jumanji. You know, where you got the guy in there, the Niles whatever guy, or I can't remember. That's in there just playing like the regular, just the NPC character that's there to just give his lines and all that. It really kind of seemed like that with that particular character. I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny.
Don't read what Wayne wrote about what he thought LARP meant. Don't read that.
Oh no. Oh no. Let's see where we're at here. Oh, dang it. Chat just jumped on me. Reefer Man says Amazon Prime released 3 episodes of Wheel of Time for pacing reasons. Great show, by the way. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. I thought Thanksgiving was when you went around the house in your neighborhood and say thank you for the candy they give you. SWAT was a badass film. Hurt Locker was lame. Oh man. Dang. Supposed to be 2 years after Endgame is what I heard. Okay, supposed to be 2 years after Endgame. That's interesting because like when I think if it's just supposed to be 2 years, like I don't think about on a news report. Like, it's been years since Ronan was seen. I don't know, 2 years. I wouldn't say that years. Like I just be like, it's been a couple years since Ronan was seen. You know, it's like no big deal. Yeah. You know, it's been a couple years. You know, but like it's been years. Like I don't know. Yeah, that's very interesting. Reefer Man. Okay, I gotta watch Endgame again because they didn't say Ronan. Say Ronan was like a whisper in the wind. Didn't seem like the thing the news would report. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Smash and Dash. Didn't watch the show. I'll get around to it someday. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Have a great and safe extended weekend. You as well, Justin Simone. Thank you so much for being here. That's it. No, Brian McKen. No, we're not going there. But man, I don't know. Anything else that you have from the first 2 episodes here to bring up?
The Christmas stuff worked. The music, the theme of it, family and everything. He has a goal to solve all of this within 6 days. I liked it. Even, you know, with me not being a Christmas guy, it left us with like with a goal. I don't know where this series is heading, and I'm sure there's gonna be some ups and downs, but I liked how they handled Christmas.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think it was all done pretty appropriately. And it does seem to work, like you're saying, even the time setting and everything kind of, you know, it gives it that kind of family feel, and then perfect time for action,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like I said, you know, everybody knows that Die Hard is a Christmas movie. You know? The vibes that we got
You know
from the
what?
trailer.
You know what sucked though? You know what was really bad? Once they got to fencing and they put on their white, it was very clear to me when Haley Steinfeld took a break and her stunt actress was inside doing the fencing. That was so apparent. If you guys watch back the episode 2, it's so obvious.
Yeah, and I think through both of these episodes, there was a couple of spots where they did some stuff like, I mean, probably little editing things where I just noticed some little things like that too. Like, oh yeah, it does seem a little obvious with some of this stuff. As far
How
as
do you like the length of the episode? 48 minutes.
I like it. I think especially being 6 episodes, I think it's appropriate, especially like not having it be much longer and then being being much shorter than that as well. Because I mean, if you think about it, if they dropped it down to you know, like say half hour, you're missing that much more showtime, especially for what they've done in these first 2 episodes. I feel like they put quite a bit in here in these first 2 episodes for the series, and then in the timing of them and everything too. And I don't really feel that any of that time was wasted, except for the very beginning of episode 2. I was kind of like, why did they just gave us an episode recap, and then you waste like the first 10-20 seconds recapping, starting right up where the last episode ended off. I kind of thought, I was kind of like, you didn't have to, especially considering you dropped 2 episodes at once. You know?
Yeah, I skipped. Yeah. And when they played the Marvel fanfare, I know how the song goes, guys. I skipped 30 seconds ahead.
Yeah. But I mean, like the thing was like at the episode, even after skipping all that, still opens up with like the first, like, you know, like the last 20 seconds of the last episode. I'm like, just seemed a little unnecessary, especially once they just even gave the recap. I think that was my only real complaint with all that. But I think in the time that they had allotted for the show, they did a really good job with just everything kind of going into it. I don't feel like there was, other than that, I don't feel like there was any kind of wasted time with characters or anything.
No. No wasted time with characters, no filler. Everything served a purpose, and it was an enjoyable show. It just didn't knock me out of the park. Like, I do want to see some more trick arrows and stuff, but I'm sure we're gonna get to that, and we were gonna build to that. So it was a quality entertainment show.
Absolutely, and I guess while I was here, I guess I should show off. I was just getting ready to take a break or a drink with my coffee from this Black Widow mug. Clint Barton wasn't the only one thinking about Natasha this morning.
Mm. Hey, even that actress in the musical looked very sweet.
Yes. Oh man, that was something else that was in. What was it? That was in episode 2, wasn't it? Where Kate Bishop was talking about the branding. She's talking about his branding because they were there in New York, and they had a female with the bow and arrow. A female.
Yeah. It wasn't even Hawkeye.
Yeah.
It was Katniss Everdeen.
Yes.
From the Hunger Games, series. If you didn't know, there's an archer there, and I love that.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I'm like, oh man, but then it also made me think too. I'm like, but also remember, you know what? You didn't watch What If. In What If, we actually see Natasha wield a bow and arrow as well, just like Hawkeye. So I was kind of like, man, they kind of got they've got a double-edged sword that they played with there. No pun intended to the series and what they were doing in these first 2 episodes.
Hey, that retractable sword, that shit's coming back.
Yes.
Because Swordsman's got it. I feel like that's the final piece of this Hawkeye suit, and Ronin past. That shit is gonna come back. Sorry for swearing,
right?
But that thing is returning.
And exactly, and because I was thinking about that too, and it's like, where did the sword come from? Where did Clint get it? What's like I was thinking about those things too. And I'm glad you brought that up because I was completely forgetting about that. But like, yeah, the blade. What's it made of? Where'd it come from? Obviously, we can see the kind of it's obviously technology based in everything. Very, very curious because even like I said,
he made it. Clint created it.
You think so?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I mean, maybe so. It could be. It just makes me wonder because, like I was saying earlier, when we seen at the auction, they had that dragon head. Knowing that in the comic books, we had the swordsman who ended up working for the Mandarin, and just kind of those a lot of those kind of connections too makes me wonder like. But it looks like the technology looks like more recent technology. But then, I mean, it makes me wonder too. Was it made of like Chitauri tech that maybe they got from the first Battle of New York, or
No, I don't think so.
Know. I was very curious about that sword though. Once we actually seen it and it had that retractable blade, I was like, ooh, like
that was very cool the way it retracted.
Yeah, very much like a switchblade almost, but you didn't really
lightsaber.
Yeah. I mean, like that, and then because it made me think of like the guy in Shang-Chi that had the arm with that had the arm retractable. Which that guy, when I seen Shang-Chi, made me think of Wolverine, especially by the time he got hot claws. Oof, dang! But by the time he got that hot sword going on with it,
yeah. Don't read it. Return of Wolverine 2019.
Hot claw, but like seriously, like that kind of stuff.
Persephone.
Right. That stuff really did make me really does make me kind of think about that kind of stuff. Like where we see the retractable sword. That guy had the retractable arm sword in his arm as well. And just knowing that and then thinking
Razor Fist.
Yeah, Razor Fist. And then thinking about Wolverine. That really made me think about Wolverine when we seen that he had that tech integrated into his arm, just like Wolverine would have those claws integrated into him. Probably a little differently in the MCU than obviously from the comic books and stuff, or are they going to go more the comic book origins? I don't know, but it certainly made me think of that.
It did. It did make me think of that. I was too busy appreciating how the man in the auction was holding that sword like it's like the specimen of art as it retracts and as it expands. And I'm like, they got a good actor to pretend like this is just a casual everyday item in his hands.
Right. He's probably a professional auctioneer.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was pretty good
Hey,
though.
who do you believe killed the was his name Armin the second or the third? Something the third
Um, I mean, my guess is that it would be the
swordsman.
swordsman because I mean
Hmm.
they're related too. Um, the two of them, you know, it was like his uncle or whatever. So yeah, I mean, but for what? Obviously, I mean, uh, what
For threatening the mom. He just overheard that and he handled business. There's no more Mr. Duquesne the third.
Well, but I feel like he wants. I think he wants more as well. You know, I think he's probably trying to take his uncle's money or whatever it is that he's got as well. I mean, I think obviously Swordsman's out to
We're supposed to think that way
backstab.
because that's what Kate asked about the inheritance. How is that going to work out?
Right. Yeah. And yeah, so I'm pretty sure it was him. I mean, I would guess. I mean, unless there's somebody out there trying to set him up for it, but yeah. Especially considering how we know like Swordsman from the comics when he was introduced, like with Hawkeye and everything. Anyway, like in the Avengers one, where he was basically just trying to, he was stealing because they were both working for like the circus or whatnot, and the Swordsman was stealing the money from the guy who was running the circus and everything, and that's kind of where a lot of that came from. And Hawkeye had looked up to him uh, as well as kind of a mentor and everything. So a lot of that stuff really from the comic books, as far as like the Swordsman, is I think they did a good job with that. So yeah, yeah,
Mm.
interesting stuff. Let's see. We're talking about Home Alone is an awful film. I never liked it. What? Home Alone's Home Alone's a fun movie. Um, Compare the way she fights earlier, and it isn't the same movement style at all. Oh yeah. Reefer Man's taught about the stunt actress. Better X Men is better. X Men film and Die Hard. Changed my mind. Oh dang. Okay, that's what they're fighting over. Not me. I have to hear the Marvel fanfare song. I even sing bum 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 bum. Yeah. RF Games like never liked Home Alone. You got some people triggered, Brian McCann, coming in here talking about yeah,
Yeah.
coming in here with them hot takes. Oh, I watched Black Widow the other day. Good film. Just didn't like the lame Taskmaster female twist. You can tell the actor was male, not female. Um, I don't know.
You could.
I don't know because they obviously probably had different stunt people because I've seen where they had shots. They actually had a female stunt double, but then I also seen shots where they had a male stunt double. But it could have been in the interim between everything that happened with that movie and everything too, man. Yeah. But Black Widow, I thought it was a pretty decent movie. Pretty decent action movie. It just didn't, to me, it didn't really have all of the Marvel that a Marvel film does. Like you could have took Black Widow off of the title, and it could have just been a really good like '90s action movie, spy action kind of thriller, which isn't a bad thing. It's not a bad thing.
Word.
Reefer Man says the blade is adamantium vibranium alloy. Yeah, you know what? And you say the blade, and then you started making me think of the movie Blade. I'm like, oh man, we're talking
Yeah.
about Ronin and everything now. And I'm like, they
The,
recently, and I'm not sure if you heard that, but apparently they recently cast Delroy Lindo for the Blade show. He's
I don't even know who that is, and I didn't know Blade was getting a show. I thought it was a
or
film.
yeah, film, yeah.
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 Okay.
They cast him for and he's like he's like the second actor that they've cast for it. But Delroy Lindo, he was he was in. Oh, have you ever seen The One? Jet Li's The One.
Yeah, I've seen
He
it, but I wouldn't remember which character he was.
he was the partner. Jason Statham's partner, the guy who was kind of his mentor and everything. Um,
Okay.
Man, Delroy Lindo, he's been in a lot of movies, dude. Man.
So you agree with this casting? You're for it?
Well, I mean, I'm not sure who he's gonna play. I'm not sure who he'd play, but I mean, my guess would be that maybe he's gonna play. Are they race swapping Whistler? uh,
Are they race swapping Blade?
right, yeah. I was guessing that's who they're going for because he's an older guy. He's certainly not young, so I can't imagine him playing like a huge role in like maybe even being. I guess he could be the villain, but I'm not sure who a lot of Blade villains are that he would be. That an older actor like him would end up being the villain at all, and that's why I was thinking maybe he's going to be Whistler.
I'd like to see Blade show up here in this show. They announced him so early that I knew he would show up somewhere, and I'm not talking about the post credits of Eternals. I believe that sound up was just sort of added in last minute
Probably.
because the movie wasn't very outstanding, and they're like, let's just do this one thing. But I mean, like, I believe Blade got announced early because he was going to show up before his film.
Yeah.
Same way like Ironheart, she's going to be in the Black Panther movie, which is scheduled to happen before her series. Who knows anymore? But
Yeah.
it's scheduled. Yeah. That's a whole nother one.
Yeah, and I was gonna say I know I heard some more updates about that about Letitia Wright being more seriously injured than they had thought for the Black Panther sequel, which is very very interesting. Very interesting.
I'm not falling for that one. I feel like it's related to how she can't travel to the United States. That's why.
I actually don't. I actually think she's
No?
legitimately hurt. Is what I think it is because um again I don't even think all that stuff that was brought up about the COVID thing was actually even true. Just based off of other things that she said in other interviews. I don't even think any of that.
Well, then you know what? Then you know what, Trinity? I commend Marvel for not revealing what injured her. That's great that no one has leaked that and it's come out, and also for not exposing what her vaccination status is or her health is not part of any public conversation at all. So you got to give Marvel points for that.
Yeah, well, the updates that I had heard. Well, originally at some point there was she did an interview. I guess she was on BBC and said that she never really made anything any stand against the
Are we just gonna walk
vaccinations
past
and all that
that?
stuff. Anyway,
I guess it was on BBC. Like, yeah, one of those channels. How many more British channels can you think of? There's
but
Sky Sports, BT Sport, ITV,
oh yeah,
BBC. They've got a lot.
yeah.
They've got their channels. You're just like, I guess it was
Yeah,
BBC.
no, it was BBC. It was on their website that I seen it. That they actually had an interview with her where she's like, I never like she never said anything about her vaccination status or any of that. You know how things are these days. You question stuff, all of a sudden you're an anti-vaxxer. But she never really had any. She said she never really had any hard stance against it. And in the release or whatever it was, where there was going through that Marvel had stated or something that was released, they were saying that they just can't wait for her to get back on set into America to come in and do that. And I don't think they would say something like that if her vaccination status was going to be an issue with the shooting. I don't think any of that stuff. I don't think any of that stuff is true, man. I think there's always somebody trying to play.
No, it is
play
true
something
because
up.
her answer in the BBC interview would have been, "I did get it," but if she didn't say that, then obviously she didn't. Just saying, oh, I got nothing against it. It's like Aaron Rodgers, didn't he? Like, yeah, you know, I'm immunized. Yeah, I got it. I got the antibodies. The doctors checked me.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't think it is. I mean, I don't think it was. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it is. I mean, it could be, but you know, I guess you journalists have to have something to get those clicks and stuff, huh?
Journalists.
Let's see. Chitari Metal from Avengers is what Brian McCann is saying. Yeah, I think, and that's what I was thinking too, because the look of it looks like the Chitari kind of
You're
steel
right.
and everything. Because like even if you remember, like on Spider-Man: Homecoming, when they were there breaking everything, he's like, you got to use this stuff. You got to use their tools. I'm wondering if that's if that probably because that's what it seemed like was Chitari kind of tech. Magneto pulls.
Yeah, I want that to be explored. I hope it
Yeah,
is.
certainly. And it seems like that. Like again, it seems like there's people just after tech, after all that Stark tech, after the Chitauri tech, basically. And that's what it. And isn't that what everything is anyway? Is kind of an arms race, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What was it Tony
Almost
Stark
like
said?
we're leading to an armor wars.
Yeah, exactly. I was gonna say, what was it Tony Stark said? Howard Stark said about the stick having the bigger stick, which
Yeah.
is No.
I recognize the line.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of figured that's kind of what everybody's after anyway. Even if after we see like Ant-Man and Wasp, where you have the benefactor and Sonny Birch who was there talking about all this tech
I
is
don't think
dead.
Sonny Birch will ever return.
Um,
So, if Sonny Birch comes back, I will eat something. I don't think that guy's coming back.
Oh, you don't think he's gonna be back?
No.
I think it's some. I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean,
You know why I don't think he's coming back? Because you mentioned Sonny Birch, and there are people right now in that live chat who have no idea that we're talking about the Ant-Man and the Wasp Southern accent type dude.
maybe so. Maybe so. Because I mean, he was kind of the middleman, the broker, I guess, if you will, of this tech. But I mean, essentially, that's where we're at, anyways. We know that everybody is out there trying to chase down and have the highest tech stuff, the highest tech weaponry, for those reasons. Before it was the energy race, which we seen like in Iron Man 2, which is what that was all about. Where with the arc reactor and everything that he was trying to do, and he ended up coming up with, well, repurposing Dr. Zola's new element. But all of that stuff was even things like Nick Fury had said, like, hey, he said this was going to change, basically change wars, because it was about that unlimited power source and stuff like that, and people just moving, just that whole chase for technology to have the most power in the universe. And I think that's essentially all this stuff is. Anyway, somebody else trying to be the bigger fish, I guess, with the higher tech.
Have the bigger stick.
Yeah, gotta have the bigger stick. Like the boss man villain. Oh wait. Oh, okay. This is what we're talking about. I didn't watch the ending of Black Widow. I keep falling asleep. Oh man, you're terrible, Reefer man. Venom 2 is good. Felt too short though. Seemed to be missing about 30 minutes of Cassidy being evil. Yeah, absolutely. Still want a Hot Claw Wolverine Marvel Legends figure, says for Reefer man. Yeah. Magneto pulls metal out of Wolverine, and that's where the blade came from, and that's why he used the metal from Wolverine to make the sword. Oh, we're getting deep now, man. We're getting deep now, man. Love the Red Guardian. Want the Red Guardian, Rogers, Bucky, Winter Soldier team used ASAP. That would be crazy. That would be pretty crazy. Something like that. Brian McCann says he is Whistler. I'm guessing he probably is. The characters that well to make a good guess. Yeah, I don't know any of the characters that well to. I mean, I mostly know him from the Wesley Snipes movie. That's how I know about Whistler. Which was Chris Christopherson back in the day. Yeah. Jedi Jen, thank you so much for being here. Jason Strope, how are you doing? Hope all's going well with you. We also got Apex Comics in the building. Armor Wars series, I'm excited for. War Machine. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting to see how they're going to do that. Again, I think it kind of ties into so much because, kind of like we're talking about, like the people chasing after the technology to be able to fight against their enemies or be the bigger fish with the bigger stick. Yeah.
I like the name Jedi Jen.
Yeah, it is. It's a good one. Jedi Jen. Jedi Jen.
What if her name was not Jen? What if her name was, I don't know. I can't think of a girl name. Never mind. My joke expired. It's time to be funny. You can read the next chat.
Hey, if she's I'm proud. Instead of vaccines, it always was, especially now with these mRNA jabs. We've got not vaccines killing humans, effective left and right. Oh yeah, I wouldn't know enough about it, man. All I know is I'm not.
I know as soon as you use the word jabs to describe it, I can tell where you're coming from. There's just language that is associated with that side.
No, well, I hear other people using that too now. I hear other people using that too now.
I call it a drug. Like, instead of saying vaccine all the time, I refer to it as a drug. I don't know. It is. It's a drug company trying to sell it. That's why they keep selling these boosters. And it's this thing that you can never be fully enough of, and you'll always need a new one every year. It's almost like that's the MO of drug companies for the beginning of time. They just want to give you something that won't cure you, but it'll keep treating you.
Yeah. Mr. Streams. Stark is using Chitauri tech. He reverse engineered after Avengers. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, absolutely. That's all he does is appropriate other people's technology. Yeah.
And time travel.
Let's see. Mr. and Streams of Miss Around the Den also. Ah man, yeah, it's all good, man. How'd you like Hawkeye? I really liked it myself, bro. I really liked it myself, bro. Yeah, Jedi Gen. I thought it was good, man.
Apex.
I really did like these first 2 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
All right, have a good one, Reefer. Rewatch the first. Don't have Disney Plus.
I might just have to rewatch it.
Yeah, I'll definitely be going back to rewatch it again. I know my kids were in there watching it when I came out here, out to the studio.
Did they watch the whole thing or just a bit of it?
The kids? Yeah, they're watching it. They watch the whole thing. They've been. I wake them up early, even when school's in session. I'll wake them up early so they can watch before school. Gonna do a rewatch after work. 1 more shift and 5 days off. Nice, Jedi Gen. Hell yeah. Oh yeah. I was almost a Jessica.
Hey, let's go back.
So it would still be an alliteration.
Yeah, you knew where I was going with it. Yeah,
there you go.
If it started with the letter like W, there's no Star Wars. Oh, Wookiee. You'd be like Wookiee Wendy. Man.
Jedi Jen's real name is Padme. Social distance warrior, my man. Been a while. Hope all's going well with you. Says my guys, we bike. Yeah.
I bike.
Not with that side, brother. This is Jason Strope. Yeah, I hear you. That's my secret Apex comics. Padme is so badass, especially in the Clone Wars series. Yeah. I haven't watched any animations.
She has horrible animation in the Clone Wars series, but the character is fine.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I think that's do you have anything else to add today, Chill? I'm not sure. I've really got much else. Again, if you guys are just now tuning in, thank you so much for being here. Like the stream, share it out with your friends, tell them to come hang out with us and stuff. We're here with my man Chillmonger. And there are links to his channel down in the description. But just recapping, we kind of started off, shared our feelings on the show. I thought the first 2 episodes of Hawkeye were very good. Very much looking forward to seeing what the rest of this series has to offer over the next 4 weeks.
I'll give it a 7. I'm not as high. I don't think I'm as high as you are right now, Trinity, but it's quality entertainment. Good stuff from what I expect from a Marvel series. A little ending scene showing Echo and how important she is going to be because she got the finals moments. So they're doing the character justice. Good stuff.
Yeah. Again, I mean, I'm not like super high on it, but I think the series just did exactly what I needed it to do for these first 2 episodes to get me roped into watching the next the rest of the series. Again, and I think for me too, because it's also that kind of down to earth, ground level stuff. So I don't really expect anything big and cosmic out of this. I don't think there's I think there's just some good world building. Hopefully, getting ready to go on throughout the series.
And because it's so ground level, we're gonna be wowed when an arrow goes this way, then comes back that way. It'll be like, oh my god, that's super. Even though like we were just talking about Eternals and a guy shooting pew pews out of his fingers, but they set the groundwork, and then we're gonna pew pew. I know. Well, they set the groundwork for like basic storytelling, basic action with simple fencing, and when we get the trick arrows, those trick arrows, bro, the trick arrows, they're gonna outdo that Arrow show from DC, from the CW. Blow it out the water.
You know what,
bro?
We're talking about. I guess I was talking about the MCU comedy stuff, the cheesiness stuff that they do. I guess there was enough in it, but I think it was just so well appropriately placed. It wasn't out of place like you see in some of the movies and stuff when they do some of it, because like when they were doing the LARPing thing, like that's very MCU kind of cheesiness stuff. But then while they were doing it, because they made fun of it at the same time. Because you seen like the dork that was in there while they were fighting, who was making the sounds as they were clashing. He's like ching ching. I was like, oh dude, like that's the type of dorky stuff that people do with those kinds of things, man.
Was that dork a firefighter or a cop?
Ooh, that guy was definitely
the type of
cop.
when you watch my streams, 33 burning questions on Saturdays, that's the type of questions I'm going to be asking. Was that man a firefighter or a cop? Trinity's going with cop. Okay.
Yes. Speaking of 33 burning questions, what have you got going on? Chillmonger, anything coming up soon?
Ooh. Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, 10 o'clock in the morning for my man Trinity. I will be asking silly questions about Marvel. It might be Star Wars, actually. I have to check with Nikki, who was in here earlier. But I'll be asking fun little questions about your favorite shows and films on my channel. It is called Chillmonger. Trinity, you're always invited. I keep telling you this. If you're ever just available, I'll give you the StreamYard link in the live chat and you can join in, okay?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh no, there we go. But anyway, anything else you've got coming up aside from the Saturday stream with the 33 burning questions?
I might just cover recast T'Challa for like the 5th time.
All right. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yes. Yes. That's a very interesting thing in itself. I think something that definitely needs to be done anyway. I've kind of been on that boat for a while of the recast T'Challa thing. Yeah, and you know,
And a Black Panther comic book review is coming because they just released the newest volume of that series, so I got to be supporting that.
nice.
Sorry, you were saying?
I think they just solicited from the previews just this last month for the Black Panther omnibus. I think I pre-ordered it.
I'll check it out because if it's a bunch of issues I already have, then no.
It was,
but if like, is it the?
It was the original like Jungle Fantasy and stuff, like the original, like the OG stuff, like his roots and everything.
I might want that.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember how many pages it was. It had quite a bit in it though, and I'm pretty sure it was like all of his first like original appearances and everything like that. I've really been enjoying a lot of those, like the omnibuses and stuff. I'm currently reading the Ms. Marvel omnibus right now. Yeah.
Oh my! Look, Trinity, say that again. You're reading whose omnibus?
Ms. Marvel. They actually call it Captain Marvel.
Did you just pronounce that word correctly? Did you just look at the word MS period and not say Miss? Did you? There's not many YouTubers like you. He just called it Ms. Marvel. That's how you say it, not Miss. Ms.
Exactly. And you know, it's funny too because in the original series they really do make the distinction of that as well. They talk a lot about that. But yeah, certainly. And you know, but I've been reading that omnibus. I finished the Thunderbolts omnibus and I read the Moon Knight one, and I really do enjoy getting back and reading these old school books, the old school roots of these characters. I even read like the original Avengers run, the first 20 issues in this. Like, guys, if you're not reading any of the comics, you need to go back and read the source material. The stuff is absolutely great. Sometimes cheesy, sometimes a little hokey, but always absolutely a great and fun time for sure. And I think it's something that people...
And you only can get them at your local comic book shops, which are all over the place, with the exception of Midtown Comics. All of them are small businesses that can really use your support.
Absolutely. But anyway, guys, I think that's all we've got for today's show. I am going to be also... We're going to bring back community streams, folks. I'm not sure if we're going to do it Friday on the Trailer Park Live. We may end up doing that. Or if we may just end up returning to Sundays as we used to do before with the community streams. But I want to say thank you all so much for being here today. You all have a very good day. If you're watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Let me know all your thoughts down in the comments below. And we will return next week with my man Chillmonger as we talk about Hawkeye Episode 3. You all have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video.
I thought you were going to end it differently. I thought you were going to say later. That's what you usually say. And I was ready to match it with you. You didn't say it. You do it again.
I was getting ready to say later.
All right.